We're live.
We're live.
We're back.
Woo!
The machine runneth.
The machine runneth. I have my, I'm watching here. I'm watching. I'm keeping track. I've got my YouTube secret account open. So just to
Nice.
see, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the Grow House Podcast. It's an election night, and we could not stay away from the mics because it's just a magical, crazy time. It feels like the craziest election ever.
It does. It does. And I can't believe it's actually today. Like I couldn't sleep last night. I've had so much election fatigue since June, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've been ready for it to be over. And it seems to get more and more important and critical with every day. You know,
Yes.
You hear both candidates going, to rallies across the country, making their promises. And yeah, it's pretty serious. It's a serious one.
Yeah, it just everyone gets so heated.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hot one. I feel like everyone has all of their heart and soul and energy into it, and no matter what side you're on, like whoever wins, they're gonna be really excited, and whoever loses is literally gonna feel like we're in hell.
Yeah,
we're in hell.
We're literally in hell. You're not going to get out of bed. You're going to take the rest of the week off.
Mm-hmm.
I get it though. I get it. If your candidate loses, I get it. If my candidate loses, I will be very, very sad.
Yeah.
I can't deny it. This is the first election that I felt like, ooh, damn, if things don't, if my candidate doesn't get it, and my candidate is Trump. I voted for Donald Trump early, and I voted for Hillary the first time. So that should give you some insight. But I voted for Hillary, I think, for all the wrong reasons. And I'm really excited that Donald Trump is running again. So if he doesn't win, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be really sad and scared. So.
Yeah. I mean, I try to stay optimistic because just the media machine is so good at keeping us scared.
Yeah.
Win or lose, no matter what, the sun rises. We still go to work. I just hope that Trump wins because I feel like freedom is at stake.
Yes.
So no matter what happens, we're going to be okay. But I do think there are certain freedoms that are like on the chopping block.
Yeah.
And my evidence of that is that the left so hard says that the right is going to end elections and the right is going to censor. But it's like, but everything that they say when no one's listening is censorship, ending of election, changing terms. It's like everything that the right is doing, the left says is wrong, and the left is doing what the right is doing. It's just like it's all just so confusing.
Yeah. Well done. Well
Politics.
played. Well played, sir. On that note, I think, you know what? Let's just take a tonic break. Let's relax. Let's not take ourselves too seriously because you know what? We're going to all be here tomorrow and we all have to live in this country together. So let's let red and green come together. Okay.
Shing. I'd like to take a second to crack a tea house. Oh, whoa. That's Australian.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a second to crack a tea house tonic. Why'd I go Australian?
I don't know. Down under.
I'm going to have a tea house tonic. I'm going to go chase a kangaroo.
I feel like Australians would love Tejas tonic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right?
I mean, just Tejas, just Cowboy Todd alone with the gun and the blunt. I'd be like, oh, crikey.
He's a good mate.
The extent.
He's a warrior. He's a real warrior there. He's a Texas warrior.
Yeah, I don't know. Cheers.
When you do that, I know you don't like it.
Cheers. the two breathe in.
Yeah.
I'm breathing my criticisms back in.
That's your cringe. That's your cringe tell.
Sorry.
It's time to play. What's your cringe tell?
What's your cringe tell? I wonder. Let me think. What's your cringe tell? You don't have a cringe tell. You're very sweet. You don't have a cringe button, do you?
I think when I force myself to stare and smile, I'm cringed out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I've seen that. I've seen that before. So can we do two things? I'm so sorry. I got to turn down the AC.
Okay.
And I know we're live right now, but it's a little warm in here.
When you're live,
I'm sorry.
stop.
I'm sorry.
When you're live, that's how it goes. You do it. You sit down. It gets hot under the lights, and you got to take your time to get adjusted. That's the danger and the beauty in going live.
Thank you.
Santiago,
you might need a blanket. Okay? Because I got it down to 68. There's a quilted.
Oh, 68. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, good. There's a quilted vest right behind you in your costume box. So please feel free to put that on. And I grabbed our newest sponsors' goods so that we could give a shout out to Irwin Coffee. Irwin Coffee from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They came to our Taste of Texas Hemp Cup and our Terpene Ball to serve espresso, to pull espresso shots for people who are too high and for everybody else. And it's amazing. And I'm just so excited. And I wanted to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
I wanted to give them a shout out. It's amazing. Did you love the coffee this morning?
It was delicious.
Yeah.
And you told me that they hand pick their beans.
They do. So he goes down to the port. He goes down to the port of New Orleans and he buys those beans right off the boat. But he also grows his own beans. And he roasts all of his own beans. I mean, really interesting dude.
He grows his beans, he roasts his beans.
Chris Irwin, he started roasting beans and selling them so that he could homeschool his kids. That's cool.
Wow.
Right?
Did you see that Trump is going to give a $10,000 tax break for children who are homeschooled?
That's wonderful.
For parents that homeschool their kids?
It's expensive. You know, I mean, it's expensive. You got to keep those little shits busy. And you got to keep their brains going. Speaking of brains going, how about we smoke some weed?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So here is the strain that I picked.
Okay.
For tonight, for election night, for the election night special, I've got White Widow, number 11.
Nice.
Yes, by No Till Kings. I don't know how it got here to Texas, but it did. And it's got 1.69% total terpenes.
That's a very high terp count.
Right? Terpenoline is the dominant.
That's your favorite.
That's my favorite. So yeah. Check it out. Give it a whiff. Let me know what it smells like.
One terp to rule them all, and
right.
in the skunk bind them. Wow.
What does it smell like?
Oranges.
Ooh.
And a little bit of like freshly mowed grass, not like grass, like stale grass, like the air of grass, like mowed grass.
Gimme.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So it's got that cat piss smell, that not the bad cat piss, but that is actually, yeah, absolutely. That's a common smell, not common. It's uncommon if it's done right. And I'm making it sound bad, but you know what I'm talking about. If you know about weed and you know about terps, there is a terpene combination that smells like cat piss. Okay.
You make it sound so appetizing.
Oh, but break it. Man, oh my God.
It definitely made my nose itch.
Did it? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Oh, you're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love this. I've smoked it before. Can you put the top on that, please? Preserve those terps. Oh my God. It's perfectly cured. It's just perfect. And the reason I can say cat piss is because I know it's perfect. It's a perfect bud. And
my fear is like we use the two descriptors that no one wants to hear.
Oh, I know.
Like yard grass and fucking
cat piss. Yeah. But if you know, you know. I mean, this is OCal certified, beautiful bud, perfect bud. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. And it's meant to smell like that, right? And it's meant to smoke in a very fun way. So, smells totally different
Once you grind it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's all the good stuff.
Yeah, it's like when you take a salad
sweet.
and just flip it over. You know, mix it around.
Yeah. I mean, it's like sweet. It's crazy. And of course, I don't have a lighter. How awesome is that?
Uh-oh. I can get it.
Ooh, thank you. Sorry, I've got like 10 on my desk. Live streaming. I'm excited to be back on YouTube Live, and I'm excited to grow our subscribers so that we can start, interacting with people over live. I think that's the one thing that we love to do is live stream, right? Like not the one thing, we love to do a lot of things, but live stream is what we are great at.
It's true.
Your hair looks amazing, babe.
Thank you. I'm wearing it.
I'm glad you brushed it when you got up.
Yeah, I grew hair for this election tonight.
Okay.
to just be one of the good hairs.
Yeah, man.
You know, no matter who wins, I want to have good hair. Because we all know balds might be lined up and shot.
I heard balds are going to be censored.
Well, don't censor my balls.
You have to cover the balds. Okay, cover the balds. Fire in the hole.
So, election night cometh. I'm wondering just what the general populace of cannabis advocates, enthusiasts are wondering about. Like
Right?
who are they voting for?
Well, Kamala came out to say that she would, I mean, all of the last ditch promises are happening. So she came out to say that she was going to legalize it fully. Never apologizing or acknowledging, even just acknowledge the role that you played in the war on drugs, the brutal, vicious war. You were a general for the wrong side, sis, and you got to acknowledge that. And I think that has been a problem for a lot of cannabis people in the community, is that they want to believe that she would legalize if she became president. But how can we believe her when she played such an egregious role and hasn't even acknowledged it?
I had heard her say that she doesn't think people should go to jail for it. And Trump said the same thing.
Totally. All politicians would say, I don't think people should go to jail for a plant. Greg Abbott said such.
Mm-hmm.
He believed that it was decriminalized across the state.
Mm-hmm.
And he was mistaken. But yeah, I mean, the fact is that I think Trump's slogan, Trump will fix it, we're going to have to ask him to fix cannabis. We're going to have to ask him to, with a stroke of a pen, all right, just legalize it, man.
Legalize it.
Legalize it. Or at least just give it to the states. The federal government has no jurisdiction over this plant.
But it is
Why
in
are
the
they
state's
sticking
hands.
their nose in it?
Yeah.
You know, and it is in states' hands,
Right?
Well, but it's still a Schedule I drug, so
Right.
it's in states' hands. So if you want to be illegal, you can go ahead and be illegal. But guess what? You can't get any of the tax breaks,
Right.
like your other small businesses down the street can.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get any of those tax breaks because what you're doing is illegal, as the feds. And at any point in time, we could come down on
Right.
you.
And they do.
Yeah, and
So you're just
it's
saying
gross.
let's
It's
get it
bad.
out of the Fed's hands completely.
Descheduleize
Right.
it.
Descheduleize it.
Descheduleize it.
Right on.
Don't forget the.
Descheduleize it.
Ooh, okay.
Mine had a little phlegm.
It's a
I don't know if
guttural.
you caught the phlegm.
I caught the phlegm. That's okay. You've been sick. I'm a little sneezy myself. It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's
But-
November. It's election night. We're doing our special.
Right.
We have we have a couples podcast now.
Here it is. We're doing it. I am most curious though about I posed the question, like, are cannabis people just left or right this election? And I say left or right, sort of left wing, right wing, but I wonder, like, are they? For me, it's like Trump just promises such freedom that it's like, well, I'd rather have the more freedom thinking person,
Absolutely.
making the decision about what to do with cannabis than the one who just doesn't seem to promise freedom.
Well, I'll take my chances on the person who has never put anybody in jail for cannabis.
Right.
That's where I'm going to take my chances if I'm just voting strictly cannabis. If I'm just voting strictly cannabis, because any politician can fucking say anything.
Right.
And they do.
Right.
They all do. But the fact is, scoreboard, sis, scoreboard. And also, I'll say this, Trump has done a lot for cannabis. And one of those things is he pardoned a number of cannabis prisoners
Right.
when he was president. And on his last day in office, he pardoned our friend Pharrell Scott. And Pharrell Scott has his chicken restaurant now. It's doing very well. He's had it for 2 years. He's right outside of Houston. We need to find out the name of that and make just like shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
But if you come to our outlaw party during South by Southwest this year, you're going to meet him because he comes to the party and he speaks and he always talks about, getting pardoned and being grateful and how we can't forget that there are people in jail right now who are suffering.
It's crazy.
Who are
And
suffering
it's
for a
the biggest
plant.
it's the biggest crime. And it's like it's crazy that it's not even on anyone's campaign platform.
It's so
Like
easy, dude.
none of them have said, okay, cool. One thing we're definitely going to do is I'm going to look at all of the cases that are strictly people in jail for cannabis. I'm going to get them out and I'm going to expunge their record.
Dude.
Like just say that as a campaign promise,
Well-
and I would be like, yes,
well-
that person.
Well, yeah, but they'll just. It's like they're not even that smart. Like they don't even know the steps. Like they don't even care to say that. And it's like that's why it's like it makes me, you question politicians, all politicians. Like how can none of them be talking about this right now?
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes. Drink. This is our drinking game. Anytime a Kamala accent comes out, we are drinking.
You know.
Have you no empathy, man?
But then she went Irish. I don't think anyone caught that. She goes, you know, which is close to Jamaican. But it was the way she said it was like, oh, you know.
Well, what's funny
Let's
is
go down to the pub.
you know why
Have a pint of Guinness.
you know why it is Irish is so close to Jamaican. Well, it's because there were a number of Irish settlers there, and Kamala's dad and mother were those Irish settlers. I'm saying it now. She's Irish.
She's Irish.
And I can see it in her lilt.
I could hear it in her accent.
Your lilt is showing.
Your lilt is showing.
No, my Candace Owens is showing, okay? Because Candace Owens is an American hero. A true American hero. Just going down these, going so hard down these really just unbelievable, borderline,
Tinfoil Hattie.
Tinfoil Hattie, but culturally relevant for women my age. I don't know how to put it, but it's like when we were kids, we had the Star magazine in the checkout, and it's like culture. It's like cultural relevance. Pop culture. It's important, and we kind of love it.
She's a black woman.
But we got to rise above it.
Candace Owens is a black woman going after another woman who says she's black and saying you are not black, and going and looking at the records. I mean, it's obsessive. It's like it's really trying to suss out the lies, because the truth is, if Kamala is lying about that, it's
Lord.
like where does our culture just needs to fall off a cliff?
Well, a number of people, myself included these days, believe that Barack Obama was born in Kenya.
Right.
So it wouldn't be the first, to have an American politician lie about where they were born in the country they were born. Maybe Barack Obama, if he wasn't born in the United States, if not, maybe he wasn't even the first,
Right.
Like I don't know. I feel like there's
George Washington was born in England.
no, yeah. I feel like we just, you know what? You're right. He wasn't the first. I just feel like, we're, none of us believe we don't believe politicians anymore. And there are so many lies. And I'm really hoping that we get told some truths. And I hope that things get better. No matter what, I hope that things get better. No matter who's sitting on that iron throne, things have to get better.
Yeah.
This isn't cool. There's a lot of shit that's not cool. If you're
that's
an American, it's just like, fuck it. What are we doing?
Right. Well, I mean,
What are we doing?
There's war on the horizon, right?
Right.
This election is straight up about Donald Trump saying, I will not go to war. We will not intervene.
Right.
I will have a peace policy.
Yeah.
And then the other side saying, well, we're not saying that we don't have a peace policy, but we need to knuckle up and get ready for war.
Yeah.
Like when the Cheneys,
Ew.
when Dick Cheney
Dude.
and the Cheneys are backing your candidate, time to open your eyes.
What the
And I say that
frick?
very clearly as someone who was a George W. Bush fucking fire breathing. I loved George W. I was completely campaigning for him his first election. I was living in New York and not so interested in who he was, but figured he was better than John Kerry. Voted for him again, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That is when I stopped believing in government.
Yikes! Yeah,
That is when I was like, oh, cool. I don't believe 9/11 happened the way they said it did. I'm not saying that, I can go down all the conspiracy routes, but what I can say is very clearly something is amiss there.
Right.
There's missing components to all of it. And what is for damn sure fact, there were federal agents telling their bosses and the White House, sending their own dossiers. There are dudes taking flight classes here, and they don't want to know how to land. They're not interested in landing. They're partying every night. They have these endless flow of funds.
Those classes are super early, man.
Right.
Who can make the landing classes? You know,
every single one of those pilots were the ones involved in 9/11, and it's like someone was just going like this somewhere.
Well, it's, yeah, and it really makes you aware of your impact. The impact that you have on society, on your reality. If that one person who was like, yeah, this is weird, because somebody thought that one person told another person, was like, no, this is weird, let's figure that out. I don't know what would have happened. Someone needs to make a movie about it. That would be cool. No, I'm just talking about, like, what if somebody told somebody and it, like, worked, and, like, it was stopped, like 9/11 was stopped because somebody did a fucking good thing, and somebody was like, no, I'm not gonna let you shame me into being, like, thinking that I'm crazy, because it sounds crazy, like, but it takes brave people, who speak up to, essentially, I guess, protect our country.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I just think the government lies. I think they're hiding awful truths of how they actually control us.
Oh,
and Trump, for whatever reason, to me feels like the safest. If you really want to try, if someone's gonna do it, it'll be him. He'll disrupt the system, audit the FBI, kick out all these what they call the deep state.
Yeah.
And really try to fucking flush the swamp this time. He's not even saying drain the swamp anymore because he knows he fucked that up so badly.
Yeah. The drain got clogged.
And part of him hiring people like...
Because it was so slimy.
Right.
There was a clog. There was a slime ball.
But he knows, I think he knows better how to be a radical president now, because he understands the process.
Ooh.
And he brought in Kennedy, which is, to me, like who wouldn't want to risk it to just see what those two fucking crazy people do as president and a cabinet member? You have Kennedy, who was running independent and is truly a far left radical,
yes,
is now aligned with what they're calling the far right libertarian or conservative president. It's like, that sounds like an absolute dynamic system that I'm interested to see what happens, more so than the fucking status quo.
Thank you.
Which has been Kamala's never once said what Biden did was awful, and I'm not going to run it like that.
Be real, dude.
My hands were tied. I was gagged.
Be real.
It was a man's world. She did none of that. She played the fucking fiddler's tune of
she sure did.
Everything's great, guys.
Can we cue up Judge Joe Brown's monologue about when he was a judge? He saw a lot of pimps and he saw a lot of hoes. And every hoe's got a pimp. And I need to know, whose pimp is that hoe?
Wow.
That is what the man said, and wowza, wow. You're just like, that's a good question.
And he's got those like fake cheeks, so he has a little bit of that.
And he's not, he's not playing. He's not playing Judge Joe Brown. And there are people on both sides who aren't playing and who are exposing, and I don't think so though. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't want to go too far down because I've been down the rabbit hole.
Whose hoe is that pimp? Who pimps out that hoe? He's got that little fake cheese.
So I'm going to show you. I want to show you something. I'm going to show you something.
White window.
I'm going to show you a picture of our friend Andrea, and she met somebody and had a conversation with somebody last week, and I just want your opinion on that.
Is that Rand?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Our friend had lunch with Rand Paul.
Wow.
Yes.
I love Ron Paul.
I know.
Ron Paul was, he emerged out of that era.
Yeah.
And it was all people very disappointed.
The revolution.
So Rand Paul and her, did she say what they talked about?
I can't talk about that. No, I probably already said too much. But no, it's just because it's a big deal, I think, in this day and age to have an audience with folks who are still so free thinking, and the tide's turning, and with Ron Paul as a part of the action now, if Trump wins, he'll be a part of it. I mean, he'll be a big part of it, and so Rand Paul will too. I just think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And
He's a little
earlier you said who wouldn't want to risk it, and I gotta counter that with who wouldn't want to risk it for that biscuit.
Who wouldn't want to risk
and the
it?
biscuit is non-GMO. It's not. It's organic.
Oh.
It's baked local. The grains were grown down the street. No, that's
Heirloom grains.
Heirloom grains, and that's why I love
From local aggregate farms.
Yes. More. RFK. That's my kind of favorite thing.
He wants to break down rules
about this.
There are rules that are
RFK Jr.
Yeah, like he like there's ways to like make a more agrarian economy.
Absolutely.
That incentivizes people who live like in a, let's just say, an eight acre or just an 8 street neighborhood, like these little like ticky tack neighborhoods, right? Those ticky tack neighborhoods, one person in that ticky tack neighborhood, and part of your rents could be that person not gardens, farms for us. So you get a certain amount of vegetables per year.
Yes.
And that little neighborhood is able to sustain itself. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason we don't have that now, you can say, oh, well, people are lazy, the consumer think. Actually, no, we don't have a right to it. We're not allowed to do that. Ew. And those are the type of things that Kennedy's like, no, we're going to empty those.
We have to.
If you were moving into a ticky-tack neighborhood or just a suburb.
Yeah, the first house that I owned was in a neighborhood. It was awesome. There was a model home, and you picked your house, and then there's some that were already built, and you were going to build your own. And it was very awesome, and there are places like that now, and those are neighborhoods, and those are starter neighborhoods, and you got to live there, but they should be healthy places. They should be places where you're building up your health and your energy, and you're a young family, and you don't make that much, but you know what? You're trying to do it, and you live in a neighborhood, and there's a community there, that doesn't cost any fucking money. You can have that stuff, and I think that's the problem. I think this society makes too much profit off of us being sick and isolated from each other, and isolated from the earth and what the earth gives us, which is, all of our nutrients. Mm-hmm. Hemp is the only plant that grows protein.
And gasoline.
It grows protein. Well, I'm just protein. That's a big deal. And it's also in hemp oil. We make hemp oil and it's great. But it's like, wait, what? This seed is so amazing. And in our country, we've been barred from farming it for grain. You know where we get our grain from? Canada, right? Manitoba Harvest Company. Mm-hmm. They were the first to do it, and they're in Costco, and they're in Walmart, and they're everywhere. And we got to meet one of the guys who's worked for them at the Hemp Summit this weekend. And it's just like, what are we doing? We're Texas. Like, we should be able to farm for whatever the hell we want to.
Right.
And we shouldn't have these dark forces at play stopping us.
Yeah.
Back to cannabis, but not back to cannabis. Like, they do want to keep our land from us, from farming it and from ranching on it and from using it. I don't think it behooves them being the government.
I totally agree. And
let's smoke to that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. So, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow if Trump wins?
That's entertainment.
That's the answer we've all been looking for.
It's all going to fall apart instantly.
If free speech would be taken away. I don't think so. I don't fucking think so. And that's the thing that scares me the most. I don't want free speech to be taken away. But, yeah, I just want everybody to be cool tomorrow, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. That's.
No matter what, just remember this. Have you no empathy, man?
Have you no empathy, man?
We have to have empathy for each other because we've got a lot of election fatigue. All of us do.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Election fatigue, but we powered through. We talked about it.
We did. I felt it was important. So, and I do love learning more about your opinion about it all.
Well, one thing I did want to add that I think is like, this is those futures that I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we are not allowed to, like the type of rules and regulation that Kennedy wants to slough off is here's a perfect example. There was a guy who had it set up in his garage a biodiesel gasoline maker, and he started a co-op out of his garage. What does that mean? It means people paid him a monthly, and he just filled them up every time they drove over to his house, and he helped them convert their cars to burn biodiesel. And then he made the biodiesel and started a co-op. Well, guess what? The government said, no. Me no have no empathy, man. Like, literally said no and shut him down. And also, like, he was threatened. He was threatened with certain prison times because of regulatory bodies that the gas industry obviously helped lobby to get, so that way the consumerism supply chain is boiled down to a conglomerate of oil companies, which is, it's very easy to get gas. It's very easy to fill up your car. Gas is pretty fucking cheap, all things considered. Like, it's a good system. I'm not complaining that the system is bad, but shutting someone down who's outside of that system is un-American.
No, there's no empathy.
And so
no empathy.
So we have to break those regulations. We have to take a better chance on ourselves as humans to do things like, have community gardens that really are allowed to feed the homeless and to feed the people.
Yes.
We should be able to be like, I'm starting a biodiesel co-op. I went to a trade school for 6 months and learned how to do it, that the government subsidized so that I could learn,
Yeah.
Like,
the government should
like
be paying
the government
for
should be helping the citizens do things. And then and so then to extrapolate that energy issue, right? They shut down a small energy producer. Why? Because the media is also telling you gas prices are fucked.
Yeah.
And you got to vote this way to keep inflation this, and you got to do this. Like you have to be dependent on gas prices. It's important for you to be afraid. It's important for you to vote one way or the other for however you see it. It's all fear. Meanwhile, we could set up systems. Oh yeah, and then the media's also like off grid. What if the system goes down? A simple EPM bomb or whatever could flatline our system. Civilization collapses. They play those doomsday theories out all the time. Well, how do you do that? You ask the people to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And when they do that, they do things like a gas co-op. Grid goes down. Well, that sucks. I'm going to drive down to Harry's and fill up my 50-gallon drum.
Ugh, yes.
And then Harry, because it's biodiesel, will keep making it. So we're going to be just fine.
That hair is perfect for what you just delivered. It's got so much energy, and everything you said was that much more valid because, yes.
Have you no empathy, man?
Oh, man. But yeah, that's the, anarchy really is the definition of it, as my Uncle Bob explains, is it's just the absence of government in between business dealings, between men, between people, between humans. Why do I need the government stepping in? They sold us a bill of goods when they told us that they were protecting us. The FDA, we're supposed to think that's like a big deal. Yeah. We're supposed to fucking believe them. Wow, okay. You guys lied. We don't believe you. Billions of dollars are going to support these lies, and we need to break it all down. It really, it's a lot of people stand to lose a lot, which is why I'm like, I'm hoping it works out, because a lot of people are going to lose a lot, but they're going to gain their souls back.
Gain of function.
They're going to fucking gain their souls back.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, don't be afraid. Just, go to the light.
Go to the light.
And it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's important. We all belong.
We all belong.
We all belong.
Everyone's important.
Man. Well, awesome. I think I'm done. I think I'm ready maybe for a little Sudafed
And sleep.
Some sleep. Absolutely. Let's sleep for a couple days and then we'll wake up and be like, what happened, guys?
I was thinking it'd be cool to just, maybe not.
I don't want to stay in bed.
Not keep up the election and just wake up in the morning and be like, okay, who won? Did you just vomit burp? Or did you throat burp?
Tasted like fracking. And I liked it. And I liked it. No, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's just go watch Sopranos.
And on that note, kids, remember, election night cometh, election night goeth. And all I want to know, whose pimp is that hoeth? Have you no empathy. See you, good night.
Good night.
Take care, everybody.
Peace.